From 4 News Now, with live updates throughout the day, breaking news as it happens, and weather every 10 minutes. This is KXLY Plus.
Good morning. For 4 News Now, I'm Rob King. My guest today is someone I'm very excited about because I've been a fan of theirs for over 10 years now, I would say. And his new album and tour, the mystical, magical, rhythmical, radical ride, is stopping in Sandpoint, Idaho, early in August. Tickets are on sale now. You can find that link at kxly.com. My guest is Mr. A to Z himself, Jason Mraz. Jason, thanks for hopping on.
Rob, thanks so much for having me. I loved hearing you say the tour title and the album title. I kind of wish now I had added a few more multi-syllabic
That's what I was going to say.
words.
Did you get to, let's see, 4 adjectives and go, that's enough? Did you want to go more?
You know, the title actually comes from a lyric within a song, and when I'm writing a song, sometimes they come out in a freestyle, very improvisational, and I'm describing the journey through life and journey through time and space. And I was a little nervous that it was just a silly line and it was hard to sing. But when I looked back when the album was finished and I was combing through the lyrics, I said, what really sums up this album? What really sums this all up? And it actually was that line. And that's, to me, what life is all about. It's a mystical, magical, rhythmical, radical ride. And it's important that we enjoy the ride. And so that's why we're on tour, is to check in with you to make sure you're enjoying your ride.
And I think that's important. And then that makes all the adjectives apt because life's so wild like that, where it's not one thing. It's all these things.
That's right. And it's great to be mystified by life. Like, we don't need to know the answer to everything. We can live in that childlike wonder and really enjoy what our imaginations can do to fill in the blanks.
So that childlike wonder's something I'm interested in touching on, because you've been a singer-songwriter, you've been a musician for most of your life. This is your 8th studio album. Do you find that the motivation has to change as you go along in your career? You hear a lot of young singers saying that the songs were in them and just had to come out. But as you get into your 8th album, does that motivation have to change?
No, because the songs are still in you and they can still come out. You know, I think as we get older, you can have more obligations and responsibilities. But as long as you make time for your artistry, as long as you show up and you make time to help get those songs out, then you can still get them out. And what's great about getting older and moving through life is you have more to live, and you have more to sing about and share about, and you have reasons to forgive. You have things to heal. You have things to celebrate. And the more you can sit down and practice writing it down, painting it, whatever your art form is, that's an opportunity to really savor it and celebrate your life through the arts. So I find it's just as exciting today as it was when I was in my younger years.
Now, I've seen you a couple times in concert. You're incredible, obviously. This is the first time I will have seen you build with another group. Tell me about the Super Band.
Oh, the Super Band. Well, they are my phenomenal big band, and it's really a culmination of musicians I've been playing with for over a decade. You know, when We Sing, We Dance, We Steal Things came out in '08, and I'm Yours was the big hit of the time. I added a horn section, and they've been in the band this whole time. And then through the years, I've been collaborating with a band called Raining Jane, 4 incredible artists that play a unique variety of instruments and have beautiful voices. They're in the band. We also have Molly Miller Trio, who's a special guest of the evening. She is a wonderful guitar player. On the rock and jazz side, she's in the band, but she's also our special guest. So it's this beautiful mix of many different bands, and we come together, what I call the Super Band, to help me bring my albums to life. So I'm so grateful that I'm on stage surrounded by such incredible musicians.
Absolutely. It must be nice having a doctor on tour.
Dr. Molly Miller, incredible, yes. She unfortunately isn't the kind of doctor that wields a stethoscope, but her guitar will heal you or cure you of whatever you're suffering from.
She's wielding something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
Are you still tight with Toca Rivera?
Absolutely, yes. Toca now doesn't tour as much. He was already much older than I was when we met, and now after 25 years, he's even older than that. And so he doesn't hit the road as much anymore, but I'm so grateful we're still close and we still perform locally together, and he still sings every day. So thank you for asking about him. He'd love to hear that.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely a presence in those early shows and those early albums for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Are
he
you
is.
still based out of San Diego?
I am. Yep. I moved here in 99 just on a adventure. I was looking for some California inspiration, having been raised on the East Coast. I found the coffee shop community in San Diego in 99, and I decided to stay for the summer. And one thing led to another. I've been here 25 years.
And you're playing what I call just the clamshell in San Diego at the end of the tour.
That's right. Yeah, I
Have you
get to
played
play a
that
lot
venue?
of different shells and venues across the country this summer, and we'll be ending in my hometown of San Diego, performing with the San Diego Symphony as well.
That venue is just so cool right there on the
Yeah,
water. You get people, surfing out and paddleboarding out to come watch.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you still own the avocado farm?
Yes, in fact, right outside of those doors there begins the Avo Ranch, and I was I bought this little ranch in 2004. The house was surrounded by avocado trees that were planted about the same year I was planted in the mid to late 70s. And as the new owner of the property, it was my responsibility to water the trees and prune them and collect the fruit and take care of them. So, uh, kind of by accident, I inherited this farm, this ranch, this orchard, and once I got involved with the trees, I realized I could didn't just have to be avocados. The weather here is great. I can plant peaches and guavas and dragon fruits and bananas and you name it. It is an exotic and tropical food forest out there. But then what happens is one day you realize you have way too much food for one household. So we started a small business called Mraz Family Farms, and we sell our avocados to local produce shops and ice cream shops and coffee shops and restaurants here in Oceanside. And Chipotle actually is one of our biggest purchasers of our avocados. So
That was going to be my next question. I remembered hearing that you sold to Chipotle. I was wondering if that's still the case.
it is. They are the largest purchaser of avocado in the country. So we are happy to have a partnership with them. When it's really avo season and it's raining avocados, it's important to have a customer. Otherwise, those that fruit will fall out of the tree and it will just go to waste. So Chipotle knows when our season is, and they show up and they take the food, and it's a good thing. So
Yeah,
thank you,
Lord knows
Chipotle.
avocados do not last long.
They don't. There is a very tight window.
My sister's Haley. She's seen you 8 times compared to my 2. She had a question for you. She actually saw your run in Waitress on Broadway, and she was wondering if you had a desire to go back to Broadway, and if so, what character would you be drawn to?
Good question. Yes, I would love to go back to Broadway. My first stint on Broadway happened because I got a phone call from Sarah Bareilles, and she asked if I would play Dr. Palmater in Waitress. And I never thought I would do such a thing, or at least I did when I was a child. When I was in high school, I thought I would do musicals. But in my adult life, I thought that was not going to be possible. But I loved the experience, and I would so love to go back. I keep my heart open, so I don't know what character I would play next. Obviously, I'd have to be the right fit for it, and but also somewhere in the back of my mind, I think maybe one day I'll write a story and or a musical that could give me a reason to get back there. I did like the thing I loved about Broadway too is I got to sit in one place. I got to perform the same show every night in one place. Whereas touring is you play the show and then you have to pack it all up and drive to the next city like a traveling circus. And that's a wonderful thing. May not be great for the climate, but it's fun to get out there across the country. But Broadway was a really special experience. It felt like I was doing Saturday Night Live every night of the week.
Oh, that's got to be pretty cool then.
It
And
was
then if
cool.
you were to write your own show, I'd imagine it'd be hard to find a tenor who could probably fit your range, though.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. Um, Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
the operatic section of Mr. Curiosity is just
yeah.
it's one of my favorite. Just to crank that part on like speakers is amazing.
Oh, that's so nice. It's just a parlor trick. Anybody can sing opera.
Well, you're also a kind of a phenom, but I like the humility. That's nice. Well, Jason, you've been really generous with your time. I don't want to take up too much of it. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Oh, Rob, you know what? I feel just so grateful to still be here and talking to you and putting the show out on tour this summer. I feel like a contest winner who is still on a parade where I get to travel around smiling and waving and share my joy with so many cool people like yourself all around the country. So I just want to say thanks. I'm having a good ride.
Awesome. Well, Jason, appreciate your time. Tickets are on sale for the Mystical, Magical, Rhythmical, Radical Ride Tour. You can see Jason Mraz and the Super Band in Sandpoint, Idaho, August 2nd at the festival at Sandpoint. Jason, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.